Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes Podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey, Craig, and Sean, and we are at the BetMGM Sportsbook out in Glendale. Hopefully getting a wow wheat beer delivery here soon.
We've got a nice view, though. We got the sun without the heat, which is kind of nice.
It is nice. Yeah. You get to feel like you're outdoors, but have air conditioning on you.
You know what? That's
perfect.
That's a good name for an alternative band.
What?
Sun Without the Heat.
Sun without the heat.
I like it, actually.
Okay.
Trademark it.
Arizona
Trademark it.
I can see me and DP out on the road, going and playing small pubs, couple of guitars.
There's literally
acoustic.
nothing in this life I want more.
Can you drum at all?
No, but I can sing a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'll play the guitar.
Me and you, acoustic sets.
We did hear you sing, actually.
Sun
we
without
did hear you sing
buddy.
karaoke. Yeah, at the one of our all staffs. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you can sing.
When he was late, so he had
that
to
wasn't
sing.
me. That wasn't me really trying to sing.
Me and you, and we'll just go across. And it's just Sun Without the Heat.
Dive bars across the country.
Sun Without the Heat. Coming up next. Acoustic set. Cool.
Awesome.
Got that sorted.
Oh, man. Okay, well, as you can see, and as I mentioned, we're at the BetMGM Sportsbook. So, I thought our beers were coming.
We keep turning around for our beer.
I thought our beers were coming.
That's why we're here. Here they come.
Oh, they are coming.
Here they come.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, oh, no. Pass it down. Oh, wait. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is great service here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh,
wait. Oh, wait.
Oh, is Max?
Max, did you order
one?
Oh, it's for Sean.
Sean. Look at this.
Wow.
Buddy.
Cheers. Happy
Yeah,
Friday.
wait till Sean gets his. All right.
Cheers.
Happy Friday.
Careful, no
BetMGM.
spilling on the computers.
No.
LFG.
Cheers, everyone. Happy weekend. Okay, well.
Can I go to my resident drinker and ask Shane Diefenbach a question?
Sure.
Okay, so we just did a toast. I got in trouble for this somewhere along the road. I think it was in Nashville, where you toast. Is it appropriate to do this after a toast, or is that only for a shot?
I always hit the ground or hit the table before
even on a
always.
toast.
And if you don't look me in the eyes, I'm going to stab you in the throat.
What if the glass is really full?
So it doesn't apply for just shots.
Don't care?
No, it's a rule.
I got another question for you, Shane.
It's a rule.
Is it true that Arizona State University is joining the SEC?
I have on good authority that Arizona State University is joining the Big Sky.
We just went Sun Belt.
All right. That's for a different show. Later today, we're here at the
Thank you.
BetMGM Sportsbook.
Oh, that's
and
really
with
good.
that in mind, it tastes good today, especially.
And I get the name.
Wow. And you're wearing the shirt.
And I got If you know, you know.
With that in mind, let me finish the sentence I've been trying to say for the last 5 minutes. We're going to do kind of a bet-centric episode of today's PHNX Coyotes podcast, which I know is Craig's absolute favorite thing today.
My forte.
But it's going to help inform a larger conversation. So all of the odds that you see on the screen today are straight off of BetMGM this morning. The lines are all current, up to date. And we're going to start with the big one that I discovered on BetMGM yesterday. And I think this is the one we were kind of waiting for once all of the free agency moves happened, all the signings. Logan Cooley committed to see what the point total for this team would be set at. And it's set at 73.5 points on the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Will they get over or under 73.5 points? And it's even odds at minus 115 either way. So even the book is kind of saying it's a toss-up. Petey, I'm going to throw it over to you first.
You did some research here.
Well, you know, this one's interesting to me because we talked this earlier before the signing of Zucker and some of the other free agent signings and the return of Bukestad that we said this team, when we said we, I mean me, I said this team is going to be worse than last year and below 70 points. With the new acquisitions, I think they will do better than last season. The concern I still have to this moment is their ability to defend and keep the puck out of the net and keep the goals against down. I still am very concerned about the back end. I think they'll score a lot of goals. I think there's going to be high-scoring games. I think 74 is a lofty number for this. We talked earlier. Where am I going with it? They have, and I thought at 74, they've in the last 9 years they've hit 74 points twice. It's not something they do often. Like you got to go back. So, 16, 17, 17, 18 is 70. We did it in 2022, 23 is 70. It's hard. It's hard to put those kind of points up, and you're looking
a
at
couple shortened seasons in there too.
In
right?
1920, they did it, and they only played 70 games to get that far. And then the season before
1920? 19.
2019-20. Yeah, 19.
When Petey and I first
like,
started covering and working for the Coyotes.
Back in 1920, kids. See? yeah. What's the scoops there, Craig? Look at that. I know I just lost my train of thought. But those were teams, and the year before that, they got 86 points, and that's when they were right on the cusp late into the season fighting to make that last playoff spot. I don't think that's what this team is in for. That number, I wish it was set a little higher, and I'd take the under.
That's why they do what they do.
I know they're really good at it. I'm still going to take the under. At 73.5, I think it's going to be just slightly under. I think they're somewhere between 68 and 73.
Okay. Leah?
I'm going to take the over.
All right.
I feel like last season we came in and watch, like, it's going to have a reverse effect because last season we came in and we said this team's going to be awful. Whatever the under is on points, take it. And they kind of smashed expectations out of the water. And I feel like that's almost the MO of this team at this point, is to defy expectations. And I'm not sitting here saying they're going to be even an 80-point team. They could be a 74-point team, but that to me is still the over. I think Mullet Magic will maintain, maybe not at the level that it did. I know there's so many things that have to happen, and we've had this conversation a couple times already this offseason, like the number of players who had career years last year, the Mullet Magic, Andre Tyranny, but I feel like with the influx of the players that they've gotten, I think Logan Cooley stepping in just for the morale of the locker room, I think maybe it'll come in the first half of the season and taper off, but I foresee a push sometime in the season that we're like, do we have to start talking about playoffs? Not really, but you know how we get.
Yeah, you're right. I think there'll be times in the season where we do that.
I'm going to be a little bit optimistic because I feel like I've undervalued what this team's capable of in the past. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong and they get another high-ish draft pick next year and we're just one step closer to being out of the rebuild.
Yeah, I'm not going to come at this from a betting perspective because, my knowledge of betting extends to, I'll bet you a nickel that I can jump over this puddle. Yeah. That's about as much as I know about betting. With this team, I'm curious what happens late in the season. That's going to color some of what happens here. Fair. Do they move some of these guys at the trade deadline? And I'm not sure they will. I know a lot of people assume that these contracts, and they are movable. Jason Zucker's a very movable contract and will probably be an attractive commodity at the deadline. Nick Bukestad could be again. Alex Kerfoot could be again with the cap going up next year. But if they decide to hold on to these guys to more shepherd this group through the entire season, especially a guy like Logan Cooley, then I think they can achieve a little more. If this team is not out of the playoff race, if they're playing some meaningful games late in the season, if they're playing meaningful games at the trade deadline, I don't think they're going to be that active at the trade deadline. So if they can stay in it to that point, I could see this team achieving more. I could see this team getting 76, 78 points. I think 80 is still a lofty goal. I think that's probably a goal they'll set for themselves, but I don't know. I don't see them quite getting there, but I can see them getting into the high 70s.
You know what? When you look at it that way, and remember what happened to this team last year after the trade deadline. It was difficult to find wins that last stretch of the season unless Connor Ingram was playing. You might be able to sway my opinion, Craig. You might be able to, because I do think they're more likely to stay pat on more of these contracts this season than they were last season.
That's the intent right now.
And you've got a goaltender in Vejmelka at that point who's going to be playing for something. Like, he's playing for a new contract. So that will be important for his future. Maybe I still want them to get another defenseman. If they get another defenseman, that line may move, but I like the over. I just concerned about their ability to defend.
And clearly they were after Matt Dumba, and he still hasn't signed, so I suppose there's an outside chance.
And when we said 70 last year, we all agreed they overachieved, and they went on long stretches of big winning streaks. And 70 for this team was a lot. Yeah. The year before, they were 57.
Yeah.
And that's 13-point difference. And so I think a lot of things have to – so I'm still going to stick with my under for now.
Stick with it.
What are you saying for a point total? What did you –
I said 68 was depressing, so I said 73. I'll go just under at 73.
Just under? Okay.
And you're at what?
74.
Okay, and I'm at 76. Look at me, the
Look
optimist
at you.
Mr. Sunshine, as they always call me.
A lot of overs in the chat. Michael, Charles, Joel all put over.
Thinking Charles is here.
Yeah, Charles is here.
Charles is here. CWP is right here.
He's going to make a cameo right now.
Yeah, he's going to pop in. There's
Peek
Charles.
in between. You got to lower yourself, CWP. You got to lower yourself to our level.
Yeah, there's
it's a metaphor on
Hi, everybody.
He's tall.
What's up, buddy?
He's tall.
He's tall.
Okay, well, on the subject of maybe defying expectations, the next line we're going to talk about, and this one's a little bit more of a clear favorite, if you will. Will the Arizona Coyotes make the playoffs? This line is on the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Currently, the odds are yes to make the playoffs at plus 475, no to make the playoffs at minus 750. Pretty definitive here from BetMGM, but not to say it's impossible. This is not the worst odds we will get to with as it involves the Coyotes having success this season. I know this one's a long shot, but just on the subject, I guess, of having a little bit of confidence, is there any scenario you can imagine that this happens?
Not for me.
Yeah.
I hate to douse.
It's okay. You were just being positive, so now you can be negative.
That's right. I'm balancing it
exactly.
out here.
You're very balanced.
That's a big step. How many points does it take to make the playoffs in the Western Conference?
Yeah, last year was 95.
So you're talking about a massive
and we're sitting there
jump.
thinking there's going to be 73.
And by the way, you just talked about the jump that they took from the previous season to last season. The jumps get harder now. The increments are more difficult to achieve as you add points now. This is not a playoff team. That's a massive leap for this team, especially in Logan Cooley's first season. Especially with the defense that they have that Petey mentioned earlier. There are a lot of questions about this team. This team is still in growth phase. It's not ready to make the playoffs yet. Honestly, I don't even think it's good for the team to make the playoffs yet.
Yeah. I sat there and I was actually talking to the gentleman at the window at the BetMGM, and we're talking about the playoff possibilities here, and he was asking, because we saw the line. It's not ready.
It's juicy.
They're not ready, and we talk about things going in the right direction. You have to have a goaltender, meaning Vejmelka and Ingram both have to have Vezina-type seasons, and that's just to get you even remotely close to 80 points.
Right. And what do you have to do in front of them, like you mentioned before, for those guys to have Vezina caliber seasons? How do you have to defend in front of them?
So,
like Vegas.
So, what would have to happen for me for this to be a playoff team? You can't just look at what point total and how they can increase and how they can get better. You have to go who in this division, in the Central Division, is going to get worse, and who is the Coyotes better? And they're not better than Colorado. They're not better than Dallas. They're not better than Minnesota. Winnipeg's taking a step backwards, but they're still not better than Winnipeg. There is an argument to say maybe they're better than Chicago and maybe Nashville. Yeah. They're still not better than St. Louis.
Yeah.
So now you put them sixth in their division. Guess what? That's not a playoff team. So I unfortunately, and I know they'll sit at the training camp in Australia and they'll go, hey, we're going to prove guys wrong. This is what nobody's got us in.
Hopefully we'll be sitting with them.
Yeah, I won't be, but that's travel miles thing. It's a whole thing. So I think that coach will be sitting there. That's our goal. Everybody's against us. It's us against the world. We're going to make the playoffs. And I think there will be some juice early. And I think they will be above the double line at points in the season through December. I think there'll be times, Leah, when we do post-game shows that go, oh my gosh, they're only 4 points out of a playoff spot right now. I do believe that will happen. But I just think with this roster, I don't think they can sustain that for an entire season. And I think by the time we're sitting in February, it will start to fall. When other teams' games are more important, when other teams are stocking up, when you said the Coyotes might not sell, but they sure as hell ain't going to be buyers. So other teams will get better. Those lines will get better. Teams will be playing more meaningful games. And that last stretch is going to be hard. And I still think this team is still 2 years away.
Let me ask you this, before we move on, with regard to the trade deadline. If you have opportunities to move guys like this, when you're weighing what's important to this team at this point, at this juncture, right, with development, with having mentors around for a full season, what are you willing to take at the trade deadline? What? That was great. That was a Where's Whitney moment there with Saul Bookman. Yeah. What are you willing to take? Are you driving your price up at this point?
Yeah, you have to.
I want to, if somebody offers me a first-round pick, okay, yes, I'm listening now. But if it's second-round picks, but you know what? We got a lot of those.
That's what he's done here all along. He's been able to go, here's my price. If you pay it, well, cool. We can talk. If you don't, not, that's fine too. And I think here he can be really hardline on this because I think there are some advantages for some of the players we're talking about. Bukestad, Zucker, Kerfoot, those type of player. I think there are advantages to keep players like this together with this core and continue to move the play forward and continue to take positive steps.
Yeah.
But if you can get a first-round pick in the next 2 drafts, you have to have that. You have to have that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with both of you, and I think the general consensus of the chat is people realistically think playoffs aren't a possibility. But I do want to bring up a point that Roaring Fork is making, which could be the one way this somehow happens, and I'm saying it's super long shot, just like the odds say. He said third place in the Central should be 88 points this year. That division is so bad. And we're going to talk about the Central in just a second, because Roaring Fork said Petey's vastly overestimating Winnipeg, St. Louis, and Nashville. Those teams might be true. Better than the Coyotes, but they're not plus 475 better, which is a really valid point to make.
But Colorado, Minnesota, and Dallas are better teams.
Yes.
So fourth is the best.
Well, and I think Minnesota is still going up.
Yeah,
I do. And I think Colorado has plateaued, and without Landeskog in the season again, I'm worried that team may not be as good as what people think they are. I think Dallas is the cream of the crop in the Central Division.
Well, let's pull up the odds to win the Central Division while we're talking about it. Right now, Colorado has the best odds at plus 140, followed by Dallas, Minnesota, Winnipeg, St. Louis, Nashville, Chicago, and Arizona. So obviously, this is the question I'm going to ask is not do the Coyotes have a chance of winning this division, because obviously I think all of us agree there's no argument to be made that they can. My question is, do you feel the Coyotes are in the correct slotted spot here at plus 6,600 behind the Chicago Blackhawks, who are plus 4,000?
I'm torn on this because the Blackhawks have made a lot of moves, right? They're trying to give – do we have to say his name? Connor Bedard? Yeah, we have to say it.
I feel like we need to come up with a nickname for him.
They're trying to give him some support, right, to give him early
Taylor
success.
Hall, Foligno.
Yeah, there's players around him that could lead to better success for the Blackhawks, I suppose. When you look at their offensive upside, maybe it's there. Maybe so.
I don't know.
What about Nashville?
Nashville
surprised me last year.
I think the Coyotes forwards are better than Nashville forwards. I do. I'll say that again on this show. I think they're better. The one thing that Nashville has that's the wild card for me is UC Saros. And Saros can make a difference for that team. He's had Vezina-type seasons before. Mm-hmm. I have the Coyotes competing with the Nashville Predators. I think that's their level this season. I think Nashville's taking a step backwards. Chicago, I'm going to say it, I don't think they're as good as the Coyotes. And I know Connor Bedard, and it's going to be all about the big splash that Connor Bedard makes. This team sucked last year. They had more things going wrong than just the first-round pick. They still have chemistry issues in that locker room. And now you're taking away Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane.
Yep.
I don't know.
I would also say this about the Blackhawks, and I might have, some
bias.
strong feelings on the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
They better be careful. If they are this good, it's too soon.
But look at the guys they brought in, Craig. Taylor Hall. What has the knock been on Taylor Hall for his entire career?
He's an individual player.
Right. And he did well in Boston because Boston was so deep in veteran players and such a strong locker room.
Put him in the right role.
They had the strongest captain, arguably, in the NHL last year.
Yeah.
With Patrice Bergeron in that room.
Yeah.
So that is not the case in Chicago. No. If Jonathan Toews was there, maybe.
Yeah, it could
be dysfunction. The other player they bring, Corey Perry. Corey Perry was a leader for the Anaheim Ducks a decade ago.
Yeah.
He sure as hell wasn't a leader for this Tampa Bay Lightning team. He was a lower-level player that played lower-level minutes. His speed is gone. He takes too many penalties. I'm not a huge Corey Perry fan unless he's just a role player like he was in Tampa. He's not helping this team.
Is he? Are the guys that they brought in even helping them from a veteran standpoint? I don't get what the Blackhawks did.
I don't
understand it.
When you talk about the people, and I've talked to people inside the organization about Jason Zucker, Nick Bjugstad, they're all extremely good human beings and good guys. I don't dislike Taylor Hall. I've met him. He's been around the locker room. I didn't dislike him, but you don't go, oh, he's the guy that's got to pull your young guys through, teach them how to play the game, and teach them how to do things the right way. You don't hear that about him.
100%.
Corey Perry, he's maybe 10 years ago, but not now. So I think Chicago has made some moves that are flashy. I think they look good in the media. I think they're big names. But I don't know. When you're building a team, you build a team. And it's very important that you get guys to click. And this is a franchise that's had issues in their locker room for years, apparently. And I don't think this moves the needle. And I think the Coyotes are better than the Chicago Blackhawks. And I will say they're going to be competitive with the Nashville Predators. So there is no chance. I will say this year. I thought Chicago Coyotes would be last over Chicago this year. I think Arizona beats Chicago this year.
Okay. I think so, too. I don't think the Coyotes deserve to have the worst odds in the Central. But if anything, I think their ceiling is third to last. That's their ceiling, in my opinion.
I just don't know how good Connor Bedard's going to be in his rookie season.
Yeah, and there's so many question marks.
The other one I'll say is the Winnipeg factor, because you look at Connor Hellebuyck, who desperately wants out, and there are other players in that organization. It is not a desirable location for City. I'm sorry, it just isn't, and I'm not.
But wait.
It's
not.
You
should expand to more cities in
Canada.
I
know. So they've still got initial problems. Wheeler's gone. So does that help them or does that hurt them? Wheeler turns out it's a pretty good hockey player.
Yeah.
And Connor Hellebuck is their starting goalie.
He's their captain, too.
Yeah. So you look at a disruption of a room.
For a while.
Like Rick Bowness has an incredibly difficult challenge there to rebuild what's going on there in Winnipeg. And I don't know if they've done that yet. So don't be surprised. Whoever said it in the chat might be, Roaring Fork said that he might be right. This might be the team that makes the biggest fall in the Central. And I could see St. Louis scratching at Winnipeg this year. I think Winnipeg's in trouble, especially in the back end and some of the players they've lost.
One last line I want to talk about before we move on, and we don't have a screenshot because it's far too big because it includes all 32 teams. But
Stanley Cup?
The Stanley Cup, and again, not saying
the Coyotes are going to win. What are their odds?
So the Coyotes' odds are plus 15,000. But what I wanted to talk to you about with that is that they have the second worst odds.
Or third worst because there's 2 teams behind them. Yeah, but
I count it because they all have the same odds.
I know, but that's the language. Sorry, she's gonna slap me now.
Well, there's teams.
There's technically 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 teams behind them.
Well. They're all the same odds, though. I don't understand your
Montreal, Philadelphia.
Them, so they're tied for third worst.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's what you said, isn't it?
No, I said second worst odds because the worst. There's 2 teams with the same.
There's 2 teams below them: the Ducks and the Sharks. Can we agree on that?
The Ducks and the Sharks are plus 25,000. That's
it's only
the worst
show's
tier.
only an hour.
Then the next tier includes the Coyotes, Canadians, and Flyers at plus 15,000.
So they're in that tier.
Do you agree that that's correct? Because ahead of them is the Blue Jackets, and ahead of them is the Blackhawks. Again. The Blackhawks being
and the Jets are next, and this is where I say the Jets are going to take a bigger
fall.
I believe
Capitals,
that.
Predators,
and the
Canucks,
Predators. I think the Predators. I don't think it's unreasonable to think that Coyotes compete with the Jets and the Preds. I don't think that's unreasonable at all. And the Canucks they have up there quite a bit too. And here's the deal with the Canucks. I'm not sure about that franchise either. I think that could be a whole stinking mess too. Rick Tocchet, you got your hands full there with what's going on. I'm not sure what direction they're going, if they're going up or going down. So yes, do I think the Coyotes are going to finish third to last this year? No. I think they're better than that. I think they're better than a lot of the teams on this list.
You take the draft pick though, right? Of course, they draft like 6th anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a year where we're going to do our post-game shows looking for this team to lose. Matter of fact, I'm stating it right now. Leah and I are not coming in wishing.
On
we're
August
just not.
4th,
I'm over it.
2023.
We're going to root for this team to win. I'm going to say it, clip it, keep it, book it.
That'll
we're
be
not
fun.
looking. But I think there are teams on the list. There are some question marks there. Columbus is a big one. My concern in Columbus, you have some really good hockey players. You got Patrick Laine, you got Johnny Hockey. The one concern I have is the head coach that they just hired, and I'm not sure what Babcock's going to do. So when you look at Darryl when he went to Calgary, got a little bit of a boost. So I think Babcock is going to give this team a boost the first 30 games, and they'll go, oh, we got this, all this new stuff, and what a coach, and great. And then they're going to go, he's an asshole. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Do you believe,
no.
Listen, I believe people can change to a certain degree, but Mike Babcock's been around this game for a long time. He's not one of those people that I think is going to change his stripes in the end.
You can't.
When push comes to shove, he's going to revert to who he is.
He's 70 years old. He's not going to change who he is.
I don't think that type of coach
his core
plays
belief. He plays games in the locker room. He pits people against each other, whether it's staff people or players, and he plays mind games behind doors, and he tells one guy this and one guy that. You cannot do that in 2023.
Yep.
You have to be transparent. You have to be honest. You have to be no more black and white. And you have to let everybody know the big, warm, fuzzy feels, and that's not Mike Babcock. And maybe I'm wrong, and I'll be sitting there eating crow when they lift the cup down the main street in Columbus, and then I'm an idiot.
No.
But I've been inside those rooms, and when you have an asshole for a boss, it sucks.
Yep.
And your coach sucks. Your players hate it, and by February they're going, I hate it here. Yep. And guess what? You don't win games then because you don't want to play for the guy. You don't have to be their best friend, but you have to be able to go either motivate them individually or as a group and say, gosh, I'm getting better here. And you know who does that? Andre Tournier.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about bets. Where's he at for a coach of the year? When that prop comes out, look at that. Because he's not going to be in the top 10.
Well, yeah, no, and it's not. I mean, we're probably a couple of years away from talking about that, but, with Andre in contract talks. We'll talk about that later, Leah.
I like Brian said Babcock will break a foot kicking a garbage can. Do you know what coaches?
What are the odds on that, Brian? On the BetMGM Sportsbook app.
The truth is, coaches used to do that shit. You know how many coaches? Jim Schoenfeld broke a computer literally. That was rewind. It was a VCR. It wasn't a laptop. It was a VCR.
Behind the scenes with Steve Peters.
He threw it across the room against the wall. And I'm not a joke. And you know how many garbage cans? He challenged players to a physical fist fight between periods. Jeremy Roenick, he said, "Do you want to go, tough guy?" And he took off his suspenders to fight him in the room. This is a true story.
Wow.
Bobby Francis would break shit and break sticks and yell and throw garbage cans. You don't do that anymore.
Nope.
The game's evolved. Players don't react to that kind of stuff anymore. And if you don't change and evolve, you're going to be left behind. And maybe he has learned in his 2 or 3 years. Oh, sorry. These are really hot takes for a Friday.
Anyway.
The beer.
Yeah, it's the beer. We're enjoying ourselves
by the way,
here.
This
This is tasting good today with the sunny sky behind us, but we're in the air conditioning. To me, I now associate the flavor of WoW with the weekend, which is a great feeling.
I do too.
If you're at home watching this and you work from home, go crack open a WoW. Just kidding. Only if it's appropriate. And also at the BetMGM Sportsbook all day until 6 p.m., $3 off appetizers and $3 off draft beers. So you can get your discounted Four Peaks beer here at BetMGM all day till 6. So come hang out with us.
Discounted beer?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Honey.
Charles is here, as we mentioned.
Charles hunkered in, too.
And if you want to pick up your WoW or your Peach or your Kilt Lifter or whatever it is you love at Four Peaks, you can buy Four Peaks wherever you buy your beer, and check out the 8th Street Pub as well. Great food there also. So you can check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. I have to say, so I was actually awake before 7 today. Which
I know you had something in the Discord or somewhere, and I'm like, "Are you awake already?" Legit.
So I was up early because I was outside.
Sorry, we're rubbing off on you.
I know. I was outside watering my plants before 7 a.m. And
we really are rubbing off
yes,
on you.
You are.
Watering your plants this morning.
But I have to say, it was actually a really nice morning. I feel like it was one of the nicer mornings. Well, I wouldn't know because I'm not up before 7.
Compared to what we've had.
Can you golf that early, though?
I think
you have to go early if you're going to golf.
Yeah, but if you're out there at 6 a.m. to golf, that's a
But you know what? The most important thing at the golf, it's not how you play.
It's how you look.
It's how you look.
And that's what Pins and Aces is here to do. It's to make you look good, and they have breathable fabric. So if you're sweating out there, you don't have to worry about sweat stains. It's super breathable. Yeah, because Craig brings cucumber-scented towels to the golf course.
Yeah.
Pins and Aces,
we didn't get those in time.
They also have beer sleeves that will keep your beer cold on the golf course, which is essential. Not just in Arizona, but anywhere.
Yep.
So if you haven't checked out Pins and Aces yet, go on their website, pinsandaces.com. Use code PHNX to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com.
You know why you do that, Leah? Because when you're my age, and I'm not a good golfer, but if you wear Pins and Aces, you look like you're a good golfer. So if you walk into the store,
golf's a mental game.
I could be at the parking lot of the grocery store and they go, "Oh my God, I bet he's a really good golfer."
Yeah,
because I got my Pins and Aces on.
It's a step up for him too, because he used to dress like Payne Stewart, wear the knickers, and buddy, it was a rough look.
That went right over my head.
Yeah, it fell flat.
Okay,
right. Not for golfers.
So we talked about real odds on the BetMGM Sportsbook app.
Yes,
but we thought it would be fun to come up with our own odds for some things that aren't and maybe never will be on the BetMGM Sportsbook
maybe
app.
Should be?
Well, some of them are a little bit subjective.
Oh, okay.
But some of them probably will be as we get closer to the season. I believe a lot more player props will come live.
Yeah, player prop, and we'll talk about them when they happen because there's some interesting things that are going to happen. We're talking about Clayton Keller's points and so forth. So there's a lot more props coming as the season approaches.
But the Sportsbook of Leah and Petey put together some lines.
Yes.
And which one do you want to start with?
I don't know the graphics, so you probably need to do
All right, let's start a little fun. And last year, there was some great facial hair on this team. Lawson Krause, Liam O'Brien.
This is my only contribution to the show, by the way.
Almost went neck and neck, no pun intended, for great beards.
See what you did there? That was actually pretty clever.
So, Sean, can we pull up the line for beards? Longest beard. We got Lawson Krause and Liam O'Brien. It's a pick'em, minus 110
minus
each.
110 each.
And then you got Dylan Gunther plus 100,000.
He's a long shot. He's got 2 hairs by December.
Sorry, Dylan.
Could have put Logan Cooley on that movie.
Yeah, and Barrett Hayden.
Logan Cooley.
Sorry,
Barrett, remember his patchy beard? That looked like ass.
So
Barrett Hayden
let
beard.
us know in the chat who you think is going to have the longest beard this season, Krause, O'Brien, or someone else. Craig, who do you think? Sorry, Petey, I cut you off.
That's okay.
But I really
first time today.
Because he's a humble guy and he sort of. Okay.
You're being mean to me.
All right. Because he's a humble guy and tends to, defer. I'm gonna go with Liam O'Brien because Lawson Krause, every time I ask him, says I can't compete with Liam. So I'm gonna go with Liam O'Brien.
I think this one's easy, and I'll tell you why. Because Lawson Krause got married, and so he had to clean up.
He's
starting
from scratch, as it were.
And I'm not even sure how much Claire's going to put up with. So
yeah,
it
gets
to a certain point.
But because once you sign that piece of paper and you put now she's got more say. It's like, no, I don't think you're coming home looking like that. I don't care if you're on a 10-game scoring streak. Beat it. And so that's over. So I got Obi on this one.
Okay.
Roaring Fork, Ingram.
Ooh, I like Connor Ingram.
That's a good dark horse.
That could be a good bet.
Yeah.
I like it too.
The
problem
really
is it gets hidden, so you forget him.
Yeah.
There's his beard, and he won't go on the show.
That's the other side. He won't go on camera. So
God, we got
Connor,
we got to somehow do that.
We got to do like stealth recordings of Connor.
Yeah, we got to do that this year.
Yeah, not even
like
tell
hiding
him,
in the
and then
bushes.
it just shows
yeah.
up. Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Oh boy. Well, speaking of goalies, let's go to our next line. How many different goalies will start for the Arizona Coyotes this year? Petey and I set the line at 3.5.
Okay.
So over or under, and once again, chat, chime in. How many goalies will start for the Coyotes this season?
I'm going over. I'm going to say 4.
Do you have any reasoning to back that up?
I think Matt Vialta is going to get a start up here at some point, and I think Ivan Prosvetov will as well. So I think both AHL goalies will get a game or 2 or more, depending on injuries.
How many were there last year, Craig?
You tell me, Petey.
I don't know. I think 3.
Veggie, Ingram, Prosvetov.
Was there another one? I don't think so.
When you look at Tucson last year, did they have an option?
I honestly don't remember.
I think it was only 3.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But there's a few things that can happen this year. They might make a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if they trade Veggie away?
Ooh.
There could be an injury. I'm not wishing that, but there could be. Brian says
No,
over
Nick.
5. Oh, Nick said Petey would have to do stalking and talking with
Stalking and talking. I like it.
That's good, Nick.
What do you need to trade Kirill Vejmelka? What do you need to get?
You need a first-round pick.
And people will tell you, you'll never get a first-round pick for a goalie.
Then
Well,
don't trade
for
him.
Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. I mean,
then you don't trade him.
Yeah, same.
Wait till see who gets
second-round
hurt.
pick, whatever.
Let's see whose window is closing. The goalie gets hurt, and if he's available, and he's had a great year.
Yep.
Then let's see.
Yep.
What are you willing to spend? I when I set the line at 3.5, I had the under. I think it's going to be over. And the under I took because I think with Ingram and Vejmelka, I think we all agree they're kind of a 1A, 1B.
Mm-hmm.
I think at points, either guy was a starter at points last season. He was the guy that they ran with. I think that gives you the luxury that you can spread out their starts and keep both of them healthy. And I think when we've seen this team in the past with goalie injuries, it's because they extend a guy. And we saw it with Vejmelka 2 seasons ago where they kept playing him and kept playing him and kept playing him. Eventually, somebody's going to break down. And you saw it with Kemper break down. You saw it with Ranta break down. And I think that's what happened in this team over the past. But now with those two fairly equal, I think they can manage their starts better. I do believe you're going to have to see Vialta play.
Yep.
I think you're going to have to give him an opportunity. And Prosvetov, this is his last chance. So I do believe all 4 of those guys are going to get a chance to play at some point.
And that's why you're taking the under.
I'm still taking the under.
Oh, you're taking
the under.
I'm taking the over. I'm riding
I
with you.
talked myself out of it, but because I don't know if they're trying to win games and stuff, you can't just they're not just going to call up a goalie. Hey, we're going to give you a game. I don't think that's going to happen.
I just think
unless
there might
there's
be
injuries.
an injury.
So I'm going to say 3.
I'm going to say 4.
Same.
There
A
you
lot
go.
of people in the chat are saying 5, which is interesting.
Brady says
Who's the 5th?
Brady says 2.
Who's
No,
the 5th?
Brady said Veggie
never
will,
know.
No, Brady
Like,
said
Vegas
Veggie
had
will get a
6 or
second.
7.
Brady does have 5.
Oh, okay.
But I like what Robert said. Under. Shock the world. Playoffs.
Buddy, I like
You know
I
what,
like where your head's
Robert?
at.
I like the enthusiasm.
Can we do this all day? Can we have like a marathon show?
Yeah, sorry everybody
I don't-
else who's waiting to
I
go.
don't
Who's
We're
next?
just
the
going
other
to keep
shows
going.
would agree to it.
Bets?
Saul?
No,
We're just going to keep going all day. We're going to do the
Saul's
Sun Show.
If any
as long as you keep
Pac-12
giving us
news
beer.
breaks, we'll talk about it because we know so much. Okay, let's go to our next line, which is who will be our first player of the game on our first post-game show.
Ooh.
So
Set some context here.
So the Coyotes open their season on the road in New Jersey.
Ooh, that Devil team's good.
So that's tough,
They
but
have a good history in that
sportsbook-
building either.
No, they don't have a good hit, and they're fast
Mhm.
and young.
The sportsbook of Leah and Petey have set the lines. Keller minus 250, Veggie -110, Michelli +100, Dursey +250, and then Bukestad.
Bukestad is a long shot.
+2,000.
I like that. +2,000.
Obviously, we couldn't fit the whole team on this thing.
We just gave you some options. Feel free to throw out what you
throw
think.
out players and what you think the odds would be. It's
my take is you better pick someone offensive because this is going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go with Jason Zucker.
Ooh, I like that.
I like it.
By the way, keep in mind that Nick Ritchie was our first player of the game in our first
and we
game
wouldn't have
last
picked that.
season. No. And I think it was Lawson Krause the year before. So just to give you a sense of what sorts
it's not
of players.
always the person you
Keller
think.
was returning from his leg injury, though, at that time.
Yes.
So
and now he's had a whole summer to prepare and really be the guy that you're anticipating him to be, right? Like you think he's going to be that all-star and challenging
point per game player
Tkachuk again.
There's some shock. Cooley's not on the list. Someone said Cooley hat trick in his first ever game, pulling out like an Austin Matthews situation.
That won't create unrealistic expectations if that happens.
Oh my god! At all. Yeah, it's like 164 goal pace. Goal.
Ooh, okay.
I'm all
There's
about
a ton
Logan
of Cooley in the chat.
I like Logan Cooley.
Boyd +5,000.
Oh,
it's Logan Cooley's style of game, right?
It is.
And the Devils.
Valimaki. I like that pick too.
I do think it is a Logan Cooley game, and he is going to get every opportunity to play every situation in that particular game on the road. It's harder to play that first game at home, I think, for a kid like that, for Logan Cooley. So I think you've got a very fast New Jersey Devil team with Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt. That team is fast. They get the puck up the ice incredibly quick. But one of the things that game does create is there's a lot of turnovers between the blue lines. This is going to be a giddy up. This is going to be a speed game. This is going to be who can turn the puck over less. I worry about the Coyotes' defense and their ability to get the puck up the ice without turning the puck over. So I think they're going to lose that game by a whack. But we'll get into that probably in 3 months. I do think this is an opportunity for a guy that's got some wheels to get the opportunity to get some odd man rushes. I think they're going to get offensive opportunities. So I think Keller and Logan Cooley are good picks. But I am going in a different direction. I'm going to take Sean Dursey. I'm going to think Dursey is going to get this game
power play
points. I think Dursey gets on. He gets 3 points on the power play, 1 goal, 2 assists.
Wow.
3 points in his first game as a Coyote.
Let's remember this. Just
I've got
in case
Dursey.
This happens.
I've got Dursey in this game because he's so mobile. I don't know if they'll still lose by a hat trick. They'll still lose by 3, and he gets 3 points. This game's going to be 7-4.
Wow.
It's a 7-4 tilt to start
over.
the season because the goalies are tired from their trip back from Australia. There you go.
At least it won't be in Columbus if I have to witness 7 opponents' goals.
Oh my God.
I won't be deaf by the end
It's
of
a
it.
cannon too.
That was awful.
Remember that? Yeah. Carter Hutton.
Okay, well, speaking of Logan Cooley, we set his line for goals scored in his rookie season at 17.5. Will Logan Cooley score over or under 17.5
It's a tough number, Craig.
goals?
Throw that to you.
This is tough. And let us know in the chat. We appreciate your participation in this.
The most prolific scorer on the team right now, we can all agree, is Clayton Keller. In his rookie season, he scored 23 in his first season. It's tough.
It's
tough
hard.
because here's some of the things. And when you look at some of the young players they put into this roster over the last decade, they get the opportunity to play on the top line right away. I don't think, again, this is my speculation.
It's more than speculation.
Logan Cooley will not play on the top line.
You can say it's more than speculation.
I don't think Logan Cooley's going to play on the top line. So I don't think he's going to get all of the offensive starts. I'm not even convinced he's going to get a lot of power play time to start.
Yeah.
I think he'll be sprinkled in. I think they're going to ease him along slowly on the power play. I think he'll get second group minutes with Krause and Michelli, as he should.
Yep. That's a tough number, man.
I know, isn't that good? See, I could do this.
Really
do
tough
this.
number.
BetMGM's calling. They want you to help set their lines.
I'm going to go over with 18 goals. Just squeaking over.
Wow.
18
All
goals.
right. We're a lot of over. Joel says over. Roaring Fork says 20, and I'll have it by March. Brady says over. He's going to break the rookie record.
Got OGs coming up.
Wow.
Charles says
Wait,
under because he wants to be wrong. I like that strategy, Charles. My gut's telling me under, so I'm going to say under. I think Logan Cooley is going to have a lot of points. I think he's going to make a lot of plays. And I think he'll take off in a goal-scoring sense maybe his second or third
So
season.
how many? How many goals?
I'll go 16. Please prove me wrong, though.
This is hard because when we talk about his power play minute, if I thought he was going to get a ton of first power play minutes, I would put him at about 18 or 19. I don't think he's going to right away to start, so I think he's going to be happy with 15 or 16. However, I'm going to put him Keller's first season, he had 65 points.
Yep.
I'm going to put him at the over.
He can be a facilitator.
He distributes the puck extremely well.
Yes.
If you play him with veteran players like we talked about before, like a Kerfoot or a Zucker, and you get a player like that,
I hope they do it.
if you get players like that that can drive the net and can help participate in the offense, I can see this. I can see Cooley distributing the puck to those guys because Zucker's going to get to the blue paint. Kerfoot's extremely talented. And also, I think Cooley's going to shoot the puck a lot, so he's going to get pucks on net for rebounds, tips, screens. So I think he'll facilitate those points. I wouldn't be surprised if his point total exceeds Keller's first year of 65 and gets closer to 70 in his first year. I'm just not sure he's going to score that much because I'm not sure how much power play time he's going to get.
Who said he's going to get a rookie record? Is it
Brady.
the Coyotes rookie record? We need to
clarify
Brady
here. Clarify.
Okay.
So he's putting up that with
like Teemu Solani.
Teemu Solani.
Exactly.
Okay,
Let's
76
go.
goals, right?
So Brian says 20, Michael says 19, Roaring Fork says 20, Robert says over, Real Deal Prime says under 15 to 16. I love this comment from Tenply. Cooley will be the first player in NHL history to score 3 hat tricks in the first 3 periods of play. Sorry, guys, you're just wrong.
I like the positivity, but let's go to Keller again. Keller's first season was 23. His next 3 seasons, 14, 17, 14.
Yep.
Like, it's hard to score goals in this league, and I know this kid can play, and I know he's the future in the middle of the ice. All of those things are true. But it's hard to score goals in this league. It's not going to be like him going. He's not playing the Wisconsin Badgers every weekend. Like, this is hard. Yeah. The goalies are better. The defense are better. He's going to get rocked around a little bit. He's not going to get the room that he had before. Like, you try some of those moves, even some of the stuff he did at development camp where he's trying to stick handle through. That shit doesn't fly when you're trying to go down Pietrangelo's wing. Like, you're going to get smoked.
Yep. So
the game is different. It's hard to score goals. I think he's going to be a prolific goal scorer and a great player in this league. I just don't think he's going to score 20 goals this year.
Okay.
Robert says 21, and Brady clarified the Yotes rookie record.
Okay.
So, well, this one will be interesting to follow. And our last one, this one's a little less serious.
How little?
A lot less serious. Who's going to have the best drip?
Craig did not want to use that word, drip, by the way.
So we set the line, Stetcher, minus 155. He's the favorite. Followed closely by Clayton Keller, plus 110.
He picked up his game a lot at the end of the season. He's got that casual look.
Valimaki's been mentioned a ton by the team, plus 200. And then Liam O'Brien, plus 300 for best drip. Let us know in the chat if there's another guy you think could be a dark horse.
Listen, Logan Cooley, you have no responsibilities other than playing hockey right now. You're gonna
don't worry about the drip.
You don't have a wife. You don't have kids.
Yeah,
you
don't worry about the drip.
No. I'm saying worry about the drip.
Worry about the drip.
Come strong here, Logan Cooley. Make a name for yourself in this department.
We have nothing to compare Logan Cooley's fits to, so he could really make a name for himself.
I didn't see it going that way with Craig. I thought he was going to say focus on
focus on the game. You better bring it.
Focus on the game. I don't know. It's interesting because I think there is going to be a lot of internal talk, and I know with O'Brien, he really tried to pick it up with his hat game, and I think that tried to differentiate him. I don't know if it's enough because Keller's really taken that casual look, and he owns it. Like, he can wear the casual look that looks really, really expensive, like an expensive casual. Like, he's you know what I mean. Yep. So he looks really sharp. So I'm curious. And I think one other factor that we miss a lot when we're talking about drip and style and fashion is what kind of a hair game are they bringing in as they roll into the arena? Like you've got to go with the flow. And if it's not, business in the front, party in the back, you're off my list. Like, you better come with a mullet. You better come with some flow. I want shit hanging out your helmet. I want to look. That's the key for a hockey player's drip. If you don't have good hair, you can't even start. Absolutely.
You need long. You need it coming out of
100%. Like, that's why I think Valimaki gets underlooked because just get the flow going. Get the flow going. Remember Shane Doan? I used to tell him all the time, like, when he had the flow going, he was a better player. I told him, don't cut your hair. You're just better. Yeah, Samson. Anyway, that's what I think about the drip game. I think the hair is an underlooked factor in your drip game.
I think the consensus in the chat is it's Stetcher versus everyone for this one, but Tenply said Zucker needs odds. We got a few Valimakis and some Coolies. So we'll see. Those are our made-up lines, but who knows? Actually, I believe some of those you might be able to find, at least hopefully the Cooley goal one. There'll be some more player props as we get closer to the start of the season. The lines we talked about today, a month from now, they might shift, they might move. And that's what's so great about the BetMGM Sportsbook app because their lines are always super up-to-date. And if you haven't just explored what's on the app, go check it out. It's fascinating. And as we mentioned, we're here at the BetMGM Sportsbook in Glendale. Petey actually went and placed a physical bet.
I did. And there's many ways to place a bet here at BetMGM. You can use your phone. Yep. You can go to a kiosk or you can go to the window. I prefer when I'm here at the sportsbook to go to the window because it makes you feel like you're really making a bet. And those guys are friendly. They'll help you out, understand what the bets mean and how to make your bets. So it's a great way, especially for beginners. You can learn a lot by going to the BetMGM Sportsbook here out in Glendale, because they'll help walk you through what these bets mean and how they all work.
Such a nice facility.
It's unreal. By the way,
unbelievable.
We talk about this every time. Like, the place to go for a sports bar, buddy, this is it.
Yeah. And I want everyone to know, Leah's weenie bets are back. So everything that I decided on in the first segment, I'm going to actually place $2 on all of those things, because I'm going to put my money where my mouth is on the BetMGM Sportsbook app. If you haven't signed up yet, make sure you do. It's very simple to sign up. Just make sure you put the promo code PHNX in. It's a little optional section, so just make sure you're looking out for it. If you also click on the link in the description of this video, it will take you exactly where you need to go to download the app. And as it is Friday, there are Friday bonus bets back. I've noticed it's been back. So August 5th, 11th, 18th, log in to BetMGM and claim your bonus bet on the house. And, of course, come down to the BetMGM Sportsbook and place an in-person bet with us. We're going to be out here all day. So sign up for BetMGM. Use the bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live. But for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. If it loses, you can check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-522-4700 Nevada. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
Maybe if it wasn't 110, I would say the three of us need to go outside.
Did you get that smell?
No.
Did you smell? Did anybody else smell that?
Was this?
It smells like summer. It's like cocoa butter and like suntan lotion.
Where's it going with this?
I swear to God. I swear I just got this big whiff of coconut oil. Nobody?
Nope.
Wow. If I go down, remember to tell the doctor that I was smelling coconut oil. Okay.
Oh boy! All right. Well, when we get outside to throw bags later, if the sun's still up, you best believe we're rocking our Shady Rays. Got to keep your eyes protected from the sun. It's powerful.
Coming, buddy.
Maybe that's why I'll wear them tonight. Maybe that's the difference.
Maybe we'll wear them for confidence, whether it's light or dark. Just like that can be our vibe.
Yes.
Check out Shady Rays.
It can't hurt, given our performance.
Nothing can hurt at this point. Shady Rays, they have a style for you. They have a color for you. And they stand by their product. Satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't love it, you can exchange or return free within 30 days. If you break them, they'll send you a new pair. Check out Shady Rays, and they have a great deal going on right now exclusively for our listeners. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Okay, it's Friday. Last segment of the day.
Are we talking about Tom Wilson's contract? Oh, no.
Oh, do you want to?
Not today.
Wow.
He'll be a Coyote by the 5th
He
year.
will.
Oh,
That's right. He'll be in the Legends Corner.
Oh, yeah.
That contract's horrific.
Horrible contract. Horrible.
Terrible.
Going to age so badly.
That's dumb.
Yep.
Great player. Unique player.
The only reason I can see this is like, okay, Ovi and Backstrom are gone. You want a guy around to shepherd during the rebuild when you're not spending any money.
I like him.
Fine. But, he can teach him violence and dirty tricks.
It doesn't kick in for it's not this season.
I know. It kicks in when he's 30. There are people defending it. This is a terrible contract. It's a terrible contract.
Okay.
Anyway,
Weekend Binge.
Weekend Binge.
You go first.
Well, as always, I'm going to go over to my Brit box, and I've got a new one. And I am telling you, if you don't, when whatever they're trying to do in the first episode happens, you're like, you lose your breath. It's like, oh my God, that just happened. It is an unbelievable cop show, and it follows one season, follows one thing, and it's several seasons. In the first 3 seasons, I've looked ahead on critics' reviews. 2 or 3 are better than none, and 1, edge of your seat, can't breathe entertainment.
Did we get the name of the show yet?
Line of Duty.
There it is.
Line
it's like Yoda.
of Duty.
The name comes last.
I'm telling you, Craig, it's like I'm getting chills thinking about it. It's like, oh my God, that just happened. Like you feel, okay. I don't know if I can make it through the series. It's that much anxiety.
Can't say it. Don't say it.
I'm on episode 55. of Love Island UK. I am watching QB. It's amazing. Great recommendation.
You did see it?
Have you?
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
Actually,
It's really good TV.
I'm not
it's
done.
pretty cool.
For sports fans,
I
it's
think
really
I'm on
cool.
episode 4 or 5. It's really
Awesome.
good. And then something that I've been binging lately is we were rewatching all the Jurassic Park movies, 1, 2, and 3, and then just watch Jurassic World because I'm going to Universal Studios this weekend, trying to get in the vibe.
So jelly.
And I think it's really fun to binge like a movie set or a movie series. So going back and watching all the Jurassic Parks and Jurassic World. Earlier this summer, I watched all the Hunger Game movies again. So
see, that's a good watch.
Yeah, so that's always fun for me is to binge a movie series or a movie set.
Maybe I'll do that this weekend.
So
Good idea.
That's my weekend binge.
So I watched at my kids' request. We watched. I don't know which guy gets top billing, but it's Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh yeah.
And like
Which
10
guy
minutes
gets
into
top
the movie,
billing?
I looked at my kids. I'm like, okay, I got it. I know where the entire plot's going. The acting was horrific, but the action scenes are a blast to watch. It is what it is, right? It was fun to watch. But as far as a show that I'm really enjoying, I'm psyched that season 2 is back. I'm watching Dark Winds again, which is an AMC production, but it's on Prime.
Yeah, it's on Prime right
Set
now.
on the Navajo
season 1.
Nation, and season 2 is out now. 2 episodes of season 2 are out.
I'm going to go back and watch 1.
It's terrific.
Yeah, I'm going to watch season 1.
Nicholas says Jury Duty and sadly the D-backs. Brady said Heels on Amazon Prime is very good. The Angry Budgie said, I recommend QI if you get it in the U.S. Maybe it's on BritBox
I'll check
because
QI.
the Angry Budgie lives in the U.K.
Okay, I'll check it. QI.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
And Alltech says Godzilla vs. Kong is amazing. And
Yeah,
It is.
Alltech.
The action scenes are unbelievable.
Oh, man. Sean, you got any? Or no, just the D-backs, unfortunately. Okay.
Sean is dying with the D-backs.
Yeah. Sean was like laying on the floor of the office. Yes.
He was laying on the floor because, he injured himself.
Sean pulled his back.
I'm not sure what he was doing. I don't even know how to describe what Sean was doing before he injured his back yesterday.
That's true.
Sean, do you have any thoughts at all? No? Nothing?
No, I'm just in pain physically, mentally, and emotionally.
You can tune in to the PHNX Sports Podcast today at 12:30. Sean's going solo today, and he'll chat D-backs. He'll talk the GOAT, Diana Taurasi.
Going to have to get you really liquored up so you don't feel the pain.
And Pac-12. Yeah. So lots to discuss on the PHNX Sports Podcast today. What?
Shit.
What?
Can't believe I forgot to go to the gym today.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Oh, no.
That's 5 years in a row now.
What?
It's somehow Dad Joke Friday.
I don't know if you knew this, but I was thinking about opening a zoo, but they told me I had to have koalas. It was the bare minimum.
That is I'm standing up for that one. That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Good Lord.
Oh, I loved it.
Craig and I are like, please get us out of here.
I'm dying here.
Oh, man. All right. Before we wrap up, we're here at BetMGM, but normally we're in the commish or the... Yes, usually we're in the commish or the GOAT studio, which is decorated by our friends at FOCO. Bobbleheads, hats, like little figurines. When Greg Powers was on the show, I mentioned there's a ton of ASU gear on there, gift ideas for the sports fans in your life. FOCO has it all. So just go on their website, browse, FOCO.com. They have your back for Arizona sports. Get the best gear around by visiting FOCO.com. Use code PHNX, and for all non-presale items, use the promo code PHNX for 10% off. Also, if you're a diehard, yesterday in our Discord...
Buddy, we dropped diehard content.
Yeah, so we had Newell Brown on the show yesterday. Former Arizona Coyotes assistant coach, current Anaheim Ducks assistant coach. And before we ran our countdown, did our show, we asked him a diehard-only question that we recorded and put just in the Discord, just for diehards. So, just another perk to becoming a diehard. Craig and Petey also dropped a power play analysis they'd done a few years ago. So all of these things, we're just trying to give you as much value for being a diehard as possible. It makes us so happy to see you all tweeting at us, getting your Cody shirts in the mail, getting your diehard card, your box, all of it. It just warms our hearts to see. So join our family, become a diehard today, get your free shirt or hat at sign up, get one every year after. Get access to the Discord, get 20% off merch, get 20% off events, get access to Craig's weekly diehard-only pieces on our amazing, beautiful, redesigned website.
Yeah, it really looks good, actually. Yeah. I do have another piece coming next week. It's sort of a reviving something that I do every summer. I'm not going to say any more than that, but I will have a fun piece coming next week for diehards only. If you want to go to gophnx.com, I caught up with Andrew Ladd yesterday and had a really, really long and insightful talk with Andrew Ladd. That story will appear tomorrow.
Can we get him in the studio?
I'm trying.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure. He's up in Kelowna right now.
Oh, he's not here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they still have a place in Arizona. Anyway, I'll have a story on Andrew Ladd tomorrow.
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Cool. Very much. And, of course, check out phnxlocker.com. Recommend grabbing the Diana Taurasi tee.
Oh.
I mean, what better time to grab that than today?
Shonda Paz wore it today. It is fire.
Yeah,
it's one of the best shirts.
It's one of the best shirts they have. Yeah.
And she...
The GOAT.
Goat.
The absolute goat.
So
we appreciate you all so much for watching and being here today, participating. If this bets conversation has gotten you juice, stay tuned. In a couple minutes, PHNX Bets Daily will be going live from this very seat at noon, if we ever get out of here. But we'll be live here all day long, so just keep PHNX Sports YouTube open in another tab, hit the notification bell, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll be back next week, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. for more hockey talk. But until then, you can follow us on Twitter at SPetersHockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Sean_DePaz. You can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Hit the like button on your way out. Enjoy your Friday, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. I am Beer, and we will see you all tomorrow.